Greetings once more, dear friends. Radical Dragon back once again with something a little bit cool today. This just arrived in from Bioyo. Wasn't too sure if I was going to pick it up, but ended up pulling the trigger on it and it arrived incredibly fast. So one that's been out for a little while, but this is the WCL release of John Woo's Once a Thief. A movie that I'd never had a chance to get on Blu-ray. I'm not too sure if there was a Blu-ray outside of Hong Kong. So this is a pretty hefty upgrade to 4K from my old Hong Kong Legends DVD. But a pretty good fun movie. John Woo in full-on kind of French tribute mode. So kind of very much him riffing on kind of French cinema and the old kind of American crime thrillers and kind of sort of romantic crime comedies that we kind of saw out of America in the 50s and 60s, and then a little bit of the French New Wave. But a really, really good fun movie and a great Leslie Cheung performance, and my wife a huge Leslie Cheung fan, so kind of nice to kind of see Leslie Cheung and Chow Yun Fat larking about in the French Riviera, really. So enough rambling, let's take a little look inside the package. We get this nice full slip case. These ones are numbered, I think, to 800, but don't seem to have been selling out that quickly. So I think at the time that I'd ordered it, they still had stock on Bioyo. And it was fairly reasonably priced because not one of the combo packs. So this is just a 4K, and the combo packs were a little bit heavier and a bit bulkier, so cost a little bit more to ship. But everything enough a little bit cheaper when it was just the 4K. If I can get the plastic out of here, get a better look at our artwork. So a kind of fairly nice image on the front. And then inside here, we're getting our scannable case. I should prefer the artwork on the inside of the box. Is reversible, so there's a slightly different choice on the other side. But I think I kind of maybe prefer that first, kind of more red one. Pretty cool. And our single 4K disc. And inside our little envelope, which again, different artwork on here of the mid-heist. So we're getting our photo book. Not an enormous amount of action in this, but the action that was in there is mostly choreographed by Philip Kwok. I think this is the first time that Philip Kwok worked with John Woo, and then he would obviously go on to be cast as Mad Dog in Hard Boiled a couple of years after this. These quite nice illustrated cards. Of which there are 4. And then I think we're getting a couple of posters in here. One is one of the old Hong Kong posters. Pretty cheesy stuff, but nice to have. Not one that I don't think that was going to be going up in the wall. Another one, again, a pretty cheesy. Most of the promotional images from this era of kind of 80s Hong Kong cinema were not great, particularly for John Woo's movies. I think he'd made quite a few comedies, and so they were kind of very much marketing him as the rom-com guy. There we go. That's one that feels a bit more like the sort of Better Tomorrow style posters that we saw. Pretty cool. That's the nicest of the 3. So yeah, I think the posters would probably be staying in the pack. But it's a lot more about the movie, and I'm kind of stoked to get a chance to check out the film, looking presumably a hell of a lot better than it did when I saw it last, which was on DVD. I think doubt very much that the commentary track will be ported over. There was a commentary track on that old Hong Kong Legends disc, so I'll probably kind of still keep a hold of my old DVD. There's actually kind of quite a few quite interesting extras on there. There was an interview with Terence Cheng and a tribute to Leslie Cheung by He Who Shall Not Be Named These Days by Bay Logan. But yeah, that is the 4K release of Once a Thief. Now, having now the fact that I've picked this up, I suspect that Shout will announce their version of it pretty damn soon. If anyone's been keeping up with the news, Shout will just announce that they're going to be doing Hard Boiled as one of the first ones in 4K. I think it's coming available digitally quite soon, and then hopefully onto a 4K disc not too long after that. So yeah, as soon as I know any more, I will let you guys know here. But thank you very, very much for watching. I've been the Radical Dragon. Thank you as always for your support, and I'll see you on the next one very soon. Take care.